everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and to another video. What I thought I would do in this video would be just to give you a bit of an update about what I've been getting up to in the month of July. It's been quite a busy month, quite a productive month surprisingly. I was a bit worried at the start of July when I looked at that calendar and noticed that it was rather empty, but I've actually been able to get up to quite a few different things, some productive things, but also I've been taking that time to relax and unwind a little bit. So I thought in this video I'd just talk about what I've been getting up to in lockdown in the month of July. The first thing to mention would be the exam results that I got in July. For those who are new to my channel, I have finished my second year of reading law at the University of Cambridge, did my online exams, 5 of them in June, and then I got my results in July, around about mid-July. I was unsure about what the results would be. I thought the exams went as well as they could have gone in these circumstances, given of course that I was doing them online, I was doing them from my home. We did have measurements in place, but it's always difficult to tell how exams go. I didn't want to think too much of it once I had done each of the exams. For those who haven't watched the reaction video, I did quite well. I got a 2-1. They didn't give an official grade, but instead provided individual marks for the papers that I did, and I improved overall. It was about a 2-1, which is the same as I got in first year, but an overall improvement. So I improved from my lowest score and highest score that I got last year in first year. So I'm pleased with those results. The other thing in relation to my degree would be subject choices that I had to make. So like I had to do for second year, I had to decide what modules I wanted to do for third year. Now for third year, I have to do EU law and equity. Those are the compulsory modules, but I had the option of choosing 3 other modules. Now there was a bit more variety for third year because you could do half papers, which as the name would indicate is half of a full paper, so less hours in terms of study compared to a full paper, but also the time that's available to answer a half paper is less than it would be for a full paper. But there's also the opportunity to do a dissertation, which is about 12,000 words on a particular topic, particular area of law. The different seminar courses that you can apply to, which I applied to, you had to fill in an application form where I had to rank which seminar course I would want to do. So my first choice was public law because I had enjoyed doing that in first year with constitutional law, then again second year with administrative law. So that was my first choice. Medicine, ethics was my second, and topics of international law was my third choice. And for our first choice in particular, we had to submit a 500-word-ish proposal. This is a proposal bit of an idea that we would want to explore in a dissertation. So I thought of one based on the doctrine of legitimate expectations in UK administrative law. And so I had to fill in the application form, and luckily I'm onto the seminar course because there was only 16 people allowed onto the course. So it was quite, tough competition, but I got onto it. So I'm looking forward to doing that in third year. As to the other 2 options, I decided to choose employment law and human rights law. Human rights law because I had enjoyed doing it in first year. We did a little bit with it when we studied constitutional law, but I also just find it really interesting, and it's always quite interesting to look at cases that have been in the Supreme Court, for example, that have involved human rights issues, because they span across all areas of law. And the other one I chose, like I said, was employment law. I thought that was quite interesting, and I've heard good things about it, so I'm definitely looking forward to doing it. Those. Beyond my degree, I took part in a virtual internship. For those who haven't watched internship vlog number 2, if you haven't already, why haven't you? Go and check it out, and then come and check this video out. For that internship, it was provided for by Bright Network, and it was for 3 days based around commercial law. There was on the first day a lot of sessions that we could attend. So there was one on networking, for example, and one on introduction to commercial law. And then for day 2 and day 3, we were given an assignment, we had different tasks to complete for a fictitious client. And then on day 3, we had the opportunity to peer review another person who was taking part in the internship. We had an opportunity to peer review their work, and it was an overall really good experience. Now, admittedly, and I've said this a few times in my videos before, I'm not particularly interested in commercial law. And so you might be thinking, well, why did you bother to do an internship? Well, I wanted to do it, first of all, because yes, I might be interested in public law and thinking of practicing in public law or employment law, but at this early stage I wanted to keep my options open, keep my mind open to different possibilities, And so that was one reason. Another reason was, even though I wasn't necessarily interested in it, I knew that there was an opportunity to develop some important skills like analysis and research, for example. And the lectures, the sessions that they were provided, give useful information about networking, for example. So I'm very much glad that I took part in the internship. And I'm glad I used my time to do something productive and to make use of the time, because my mini pupillage, I mentioned this before, has been delayed till October. So hopefully it'll happen. Fingers crossed, we'll see what happens when we get to October. But of course, many other people who I knew were to have internships, etc., theirs has been cancelled. So at least there's been something on for me to take part in. I've also been doing some virtual mooting. For those who've watched my videos before, you'll know I've talked about mooting and given some advice about it. Do check out those videos as well. But I've been taking part in some virtual mooting, and it is different, I'll be honest. You are using a laptop, speaking through Zoom, you're not with the judges in the flesh, so to speak. But even though the environment's different, even though the settings, circumstances are different, the basics and what you need to do in mooting is very much still the same. You need to wear informal attire, so I had to have a tie and a suit on. You still need to prepare your submissions, develop your skeleton, which summarises the arguments you're going to make. You still need to engage with the judge. You still need to present your points and conclude those points. So all the basics are still there. All the things that you still need to do for mooting is still there, even though the circumstances in which you're doing the moot is different. And of course, the judges who've conducted the moots understand that, because barristers, solicitors, judges across the country have had to adapt to this and use virtual systems to try and conduct hearings and cases, etc. In terms of the moots I took part in a Zoom moot based on tort law, looking at a problem based around recovery for psychiatric harm, more specifically for secondary victims, so those not directly affected, but those who may, for example, have heard of someone who was injured and then suffered what is sometimes referred to as nervous shock. So that was that moot. I got through to the second round, so I'm looking forward to it. But I also took part in a plea mitigation moot, which is different. A plea mitigation, for those who don't know, is involved with sentencing. So if you're sentencing a defendant, the judge will need to think about what sentence they're going to impose, whether that be a custodial sentence or a fine or order for discharge or a community order. But the defence has the opportunity to mitigate or try and argue before the judge why the sentence should be made lower. They're trying to argue the most lenient sentence for the defendant. And so we had 2 rounds of that, a preliminary round, which I got through, and then to the final, and I came one up, which I was not expecting, but I'm glad I took part in these moots. I'm looking forward to other moots that are going to be coming up. Many of them have been posted on LinkedIn, for example, and I've been signed up, and it's just been a really good opportunity to develop my advocacy skills, my confidence, but also to practice them as well, because even though we're in lockdown, there's no reason why I shouldn't be trying to find these opportunities to develop those skills that I'll need going forward. And of course, practicing helps to improve those skills as well. In terms of what else I've been getting up to, I've been attending some webinars. So I attended a webinar provided by one Chancery Lane Chambers, another by 3PB Barrister Chambers as well. And they've been really insightful, because they have informed me about life as a barrister in those chambers, about the process to becoming a barrister. I know for PPB they provided 2 webinars, one week after the other, and that was talking about the process from not just going to become a pupil to getting tenancy, but also beyond that, taking silk, becoming a part-time judge. That may be years away for me at this stage, but it was still interesting to hear from the barristers and the clerks talking about their experiences, talking about what they've been doing, what they've been up to, giving their advice, and it's been really useful. I've also attended talks put on by BPP Law School and the University of Law, and they've been talking about the BPC, which will be the next stage for me after I've done my degree, fingers crossed. And that's been important because, like I said, I'm going into my 3rd year and I need to be thinking about that next stage. So I'm starting to do my research, thinking about what my career options are going to be, what I'm going to do, what am I planning next, or at least trying to become aware and doing that important research that needs to be done. So I've been doing that. I was been typing up an article I'm going to submit. Well, I've submitted it for review for the Cambridge University Law Society per Curium. On that website they have articles and blogs, so I've submitted something based on a decision of R.V. Adams that was in the Supreme Court recently. So I've submitted something for that. I like analysing the law, I like doing essays, so I thought I would contribute something and do something a bit extra. Not something that's required for a degree, but just something where I can do it out on my own accord and do a bit of extra research in the area of law that I am interested in. But of course you'd be relieved to know that I have been doing things that are not law related. I've been socialising. You might be surprised, but it's true. I've been doing some socialising online. So I've attended cooler events, Cambridge University Liberal Association. They have their spirited discussions online. They're always good fun. Admittedly, I'm on there till about 2:30 in the morning because I end up chatting with some friends afterwards, but I love it and it's really good fun. But I've also been catching up with a few of my friends as well, and it's just been nice to do that. Of course, it doesn't beat being there in the flesh, so to speak, but it's still good nonetheless. And I've also been reading some books. Yeah, for those who've watched my video from before, if you haven't, go and check it out. I reviewed On Fantasy Island by Conor Gaiety, and at the moment I'm reading this very thought-provoking book, I'm going to call it. It's called Why Can't We All Get Along? Shout Less, Listen More by radio broadcaster Ian Dale. I listened to his For the Many podcast he does with former Home Secretary Jackie Smith, and it's a really good book about why maybe in some areas public discourse has got a bit more toxic, a bit more negative, talk about the effect of social media, but it's a bit autobiographical as well, talk about the aspects of his life as well. It's a really good book, and I'm also planning to read Trials of the State by Lord Sumption, former Supreme Court Justice. That should be interesting. I'm looking forward to that one. But yeah, I've been trying to relax as well. It actually reminds me, I submitted an essay for a competition that was provided by VPB Barrister Chambers, and the topic was what I learned in lockdown, and the topic I decided, or what the area I decided to focus on, was the learn to reflect, because I'm guilty of, well certainly I was guilty beforehand, you know, when I'm busy, I've got everything on, my degree, YouTube, etc., that I don't give myself a time to just stop and think and reflect. So I talked about that because this lockdown has given me the opportunity to just stop and chill a little bit and to reflect. Doesn't mean I don't get my bad days and good days. I've had some bad days in lockdown where I just felt either just like I can't be bothered, or just feel a bit down, and just maybe for no apparent reason. Maybe I'm just feeling a little bit down for that day. But at least this time's given me an opportunity to pause and reflect a little bit. I haven't really been doing many vlogs apart from the internship ones. I have missed doing the vlogs in Cambridge. Hopefully they'll be back in third year because I know you love them. I love doing them. So hopefully they'll be back. If you have enjoyed this video, or even like I've said before, even if you just want this to be played in the background, I don't mind, then don't forget to do the usual things as you've always done. Liking the video, follow me on Facebook and Instagram, subscribing to the channel by clicking the button right hand corner. Make sure you do, and hit that notification bell as well so that you can be up to date with all new content that I hopefully be able to get out. If you do have any suggestions or any questions about applying to university or anything like that, put it in the comments section below. You know, if you want to know a little bit more about me, or if you want to suggest a video, put it in the comment section below. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video, found it a little bit interesting, hopefully. I do hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then I hope to see you in the next video.